Oh, good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late. I apologize. I'm here now. I oopsied. You know when you're waking up from an alarm and it gives you two options? One of them is to say like, okay. But then you have the second option and it's known as snooze, where you're like, you know what? Am I done sleeping? And then if you're unsure, you hit snooze. And so that's what happened today. And I hit snooze on accident. It was an accident. But I'm up now, so it's all good. All good. Anyway, good morning, everyone. As you can see here, we're going kind of wild here. So you can see pre-market. Okay, let me start over. So post-market, post-market yesterday was awful. We hit 450. That is correction territory. What that means is a correction. So if we go to the 4-hour, right? So this is S&P 500 4-hour. Like go all the way here. I mean, look how deep we went. I mean, we went all the way down to like these crazy cataclysmic lows, which is crazy. Again, on next to nothing. Morning, everyone. Morning, everyone. Like we got a new person in the chat. Everyone say hi. But yeah, so we went to crazy lows, and so you can see big picture, this is what's going on. Now, why I say the title of this stream is that this looks fantastic. Looks great. I mean, we went up from post-market yesterday from 450 to 456 in the first 28 minutes of the day here. Pretty great. Looks pretty great, but there is such a thing called a dead cat bounce. What that means is it looks great for a second, and then as soon as everything looks okay, we start getting rejected. What that would look like... hold on. Let me draw a nice line for you. Maybe there is none. Maybe something like this. Something. So we'll see. Basically what I'm saying here though is that, we can hit a certain price target that most people are seeing, and then we get rejected completely and continue going down. Or this is the bounce. The bounce. I'm hoping for the bounce. I mean, that's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see. Yeah, exactly. It could be a bull trap, could be, but again, it really just depends. It depends if people are injecting money into the market. Here's the good things. You go to my watch list here, pretty much 90% green, which is fantastic. But here's where it gets awesome. SoFi up 9%, up 6% Lucid, 6% Affirm, 5% Smile Direct. You see all these small caps and large caps starting to work together here and up a lot of money, right? Up a ton of percentage. So that means a lot of money is getting injected into the market, right? More than just retail investment, it seems like, right? It seems like hedge funds are finally making moves on these companies like SoFi, right? Like Affirm. So it seems like people are finally starting to throw a ton of money into the market. And that's what we're seeing right here. That's why you're seeing everything up a lot, not just like up, the top of the list, not up 2%, it's up 9%, which is huge. And then on the bottom of the list, it's not down 10%, it's only down 2% at the worst. You're seeing here that there's actual money getting injected into the market. So that's good news. This is all good news. William, you get up at 5? Sounds chaotic. This tells us spiral step. No, I mean not like general, like speaking. Again, this is all general. Like this could get rejected. It very well could be, right? Because we've seen some great moves and then get rejected completely after, right? We've seen some good this is gonna recover and then completely get rejected, right? This has happened many times before. We're gonna bounce, get rejected. We're going to bounce, get rejected. We're going to bounce, get rejected. It just happens over and over and over again. So will that happen today is the question. I don't know, right? Like no one knows for sure, but there is good signs that, there's again what looks like billions of dollars getting injected into the market. That is good signs. Treasury yields, I believe, are up. Like there are good things happening today, is what I'm saying. So, it can go either way, but it seems like today there's actual good things happening rather than the days before, and it didn't seem like anything great was actually happening. So reasons to be excited, but I don't know. I don't know. Again, if you saw the last couple streams, we're already in a trade right now. Like I'm trading long, quote unquote. I'm swing trading right now. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the market to go up. I have till January 31st is when my contract ends. And I think we're all down a little bit. But again, hopefully today we can recover all of those losses. And then, tomorrow and then all next week with the earnings is going to be amazing. 450 is the make or break. I completely agree. 450 was the support. And sadly, I thought we would hit the support earlier. Right? I mean, we saw on stream together, like this is an obvious support too, right here-ish, right? 456. I thought 456 was the support. Like I thought that was it. And then we dropped below it and I was like, okay, maybe 454 is the support. Maybe that's it. And then we dropped. And then it hit 450 post-market. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like if it breaks that, I mean, if it breaks 450, folks, like look at where we're going. Like that is a massive gap. You know what I mean? So hopefully we don't ever have to deal with that. But, ooh, yeah, looks scary. Definitely looks scary. Anyway, AMC, well, everything's going up right now. I think that's why. Again, money's just getting injected in. But AMC, let's see specifically, is up 5%, but mostly because like this is retail stock movement. And then like check GameStop, for example. Same thing, yeah. So the meme stocks kind of moved together. So GameStop, AMC, they kind of moved together there. So you can see. Why? I think people, again, are just injecting money in the market. That's why. Like, because nothing is green. Or sorry, nothing is red. That's why it's green. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have money. People had money on the sidelines this entire time. They're throwing it in now. So again, like at some point this had to bounce, right? It can't just keep getting rejected over and over and over and over again. Like at some point we're gonna have to bounce, and maybe it's today. So that's why you're seeing AMC bounce. Plus everything else. I mean, there is a meme stock ETF, and it's doing terribly right now. But hold on. Yeah, this is doing so bad. Wonder why. Oh well. But anyway, yeah, so you can see like Palantir is not a meme stock, but definitely in that realm of like retail pumps. And you see it here as well, up 4.5%. Same thing. Matterport's still struggling. But yeah. All right, let's go back. What else? Where did Dutch Bros bounce? 40? Okay. 40. Interesting. Okay. Was it Etsy? Etsy's up. There we go. I love seeing this company do well. It's been absolutely destroyed, but I love Etsy as a company. So yeah, the entire like market seems like it's going on. Seems like it's finally hitting some kind of beat. So then where we top out? 457, basically flat. So it seems like that's kind of more a psychological resistance. Because it's 457, like it's a nice flat number. I don't see this as an actual resistance. I mean, maybe a little bit. You can see like this wick here and this wick here. Like, let me draw it. Right, like that could be a resistance, but I mean, it's so weak. It's a weak resistance. Like, it is one, but I think it could easily pass it if it wanted to, right? So we gotta wait for that. Yeah. We'll see here. This has been a very bullish, first 30 minutes, but now it's 10, and you guys know what happens at 10. Usually a reversal. Job numbers? That's a good question. I don't know. Found it. Jobless claims jumped to 286,000, the highest level since October. So initial jobless claims 286 for the week, well above the 225 estimate. Okay. Continuing claims also rose, jumping to continuing is 1.64 mil. My God. The potential sign that the wintertime Omicron surge was hitting the employment picture, which very well could be. I mean, have you guys seen? I don't know if you guys have been out, but in any place of work, any retail, any restaurant, that kind of thing, like there's tons of people that are just out sick. And it's like a lot of people. I know some restaurants near me had to shut down for half the week. Like they're just closed Monday through Wednesday. They're just closed. Like they just don't have enough workforce. Initial filings for the week ended January 15th, total 286. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can see here, look, so we had a nice like rundown, right? And then now we might be surging back up a little bit because of that Omicron. You could almost like interpose this graph onto the COVID cases graph, and I bet it's like an inverse relationship, if that makes sense. Like when jobless numbers are high, right? That means that the COVID cases are high, and then when it cools down, right? And then now we're coming back up. Omicron has put a wrench in where we stand on the labor market front, but with hiring challenges, employers are likely to hold on to their workforce. They're trying. So this could be a short-term surge. I think so as well, short-term. Again, like, luckily, if it is like the Omicron thing everywhere, right? Most people are fine. Takes like a week, maybe two at the most to get back up to 100%, like, and then you're good. So I think this is also short-term, like maybe just a couple months. We'll be back at it, but we will see. Continuing claims, which run a week behind the headline data, also shot up. Yep. Rising 84,000 to 1.64 million. Continuing claims went from 84,000 to 1.64 million. That can't be right. That cannot be right. That's got to be like a typo or something. Continuing claims went from, wait, they said something different, didn't they? Okay, I don't know. That seems like an insane jump. I don't think that's accurate. Oh, rising by. Is that what they mean? Also shot up, rising 84,000. I see, rising 84,000 to get to 1.64 mil. Gotcha. God, that's still so much. Crazy. 1.64 million are still continuing claims. That's actually, I guess in the grand scheme, that's actually not that bad. Because I remember back in like the worst case, it was at 5 million. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, exactly. It's at 5 million. Like, my God. So I guess 1.64 isn't terrible. But still. Seeing where we come from, where we are now, better. California showed a sharp 6,075 jump in claims when New York reported a slide of 14,000. Yeah. Unemployment rates fallen to 3.9% after a record year, which is nice. Still, the total unemployment level remains at 2.9 million, below where it was in February 2020, just before the pandemic declaration. Okay. Yeah, okay. So again, headline, right? Not great. Not great. Like it could be better. Again, 225 was the estimate. We're at 286. It doesn't sound good, but I don't, again, like I kind of agree with whoever said this. Who is this? Mike Lauengart, that guy. I kind of agree with him that it seems, or that's not what he said, sorry. Whoever said that this was short term, I kind of agree with that. I think people are just sick. I think people are just sick and not working right now, and then they'll get back to work when everything's fine. Because again, I don't think unemployment's that worth it these days, to be completely honest. Like you don't get nearly enough money. You're going to have to go back to work, and I think this is just more of a short-term strategy. Okay. In Northern Michigan, there's no sit-down in fast food restaurants anymore. Yeah. Yeah, I went to Starbucks last week or something, and they had you couldn't walk in. It was only drive-through only. Because again, it's just workforce. That's it. Don't have enough people to handle both sides. Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Okay, so this is obviously not what we want to see completely. You can see here we are making slightly lower highs, right? There's a high, there's a high, there's a high, there's a high. It's getting lower and lower. And we're making slightly lower lows as well. Not what you want to see. Definitely bearish. Definitely bearish. Yeah. Oh, look at AMC pump up to another 4% since last time we saw it. Yeah. Gotta love meme stocks, man. SoFi is also still pumping up another 10%, which is crazy. So you saw from yesterday. Hold on. Yesterday we went from 12, now we're at 15. That is lovely. I love SoFi. I've been shouting this stock out since the start. I love SoFi. SoFi just got approval to become a bank holding company yesterday. That's why you're seeing this crazy shot up. 2 days ago, technically. But yeah, that's huge. SoFi can now offer more competitive rates, way more products to offer, tons of stuff become available if you're becoming a bank holding company, which is wild to think that they weren't even a bank holding company and they were still doing all of this stuff. SoFi of, student loans, stuff like that. Like crazy that they were able to do all this, but now they're a bank holding company. So now it's going to get real. Yeah, SoFi is awesome. Huge fan. As you can see here, still lower lows, lower highs. Nothing's really changing. Are there any lines I can draw? Something like this, I guess. Right, you can see it's kind of it's a descending channel. Right. Not terribly difficult to spot, but good fundamentals to know. There you go. Descending channel. I'm going to get rid of this line because it's a bit distracting. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So we'll see if that holds true. If we break above, beautiful. Again, I'm ready. Personally, I don't want to see this market fall anymore. I'm ready for just a bounce and like let's just get going. I don't want to wait. I'm in it already. Like money's already spent. Let's go. But I know some people are just waiting for the crash of crashes here. So yeah, it depends where you stand. If you have money on the sidelines, obviously you want to see this go down. But if you're in it like me, I'm just ready. Like we've been crushed for way too long here. Like this entire year, basically. Yeah, literally since the start of this year, we started at an all-time high this year. And then ever since then, it's just been crashing down, a bit of a recovery, crashing down, bit of a recovery, crashing down. And now we're in that bit of recovery phase once more. We'll see how much that can go. I don't have a real price target on when this could get rejected. I don't. Big picture, obviously this trend line is really strong, right? So if we can, in the next like 3 or 4 trading days, if we can just get up to there, that'd be wonderful. We'll see. Does that mean this is a good time to get into the market generally? Jamie, yeah, we bought 2 days ago, yesterday. One of those, we bought the January 31st call option. That means a good time to get in the market. Right now? Yeah, I mean, generally, yes, I would say so. Because here's what you have going on. So you check this. It's called the MACD. If you have no idea what that is, you can check out my video on these indicators. I only use 4 indicators, by the way, in this stocks software. So I use these 2 lines. It's the 50 moving average and the 200 moving average. What that means is basically that that takes the average price of the last 200 candlesticks and then makes a line showing that, right? Same thing with this. Instead of 200 days, it's 50, right? I'm so sorry, not 200 days, 200 candlesticks. And then this is 50 candlesticks. There we go. Then RSI is a relative strength indicator, basically just showing momentum of the velocity of money. So you can see here, if it's pointing up, it's looking good. As you can see, the candle shows that as well, right? And if it's under this line 30, I'm giving a brief overview here. It's quick, but you can check out the video. Go more in depth. If it goes under this 30 line here, it's considered oversold. right? So you'll see heavy buying pressure if it goes under that. And look what happened, right? Yesterday we hit under the 30, right? Oversold, and then sure enough, all this buying pressure came out. See? And then the MACD is showing basically buying cycles and selling cycles. So you can see here in this example, a huge buying cycle, right? Buying cycle. And then as soon as the red bars started, a selling cycle. And now you can see we are just going into what could be a buying cycle. It's possible. It's very possible. Doesn't have to happen, but it is, it's showing good. It's showing like good signs. So is this a good time to enter? So what the bet would be is that this would be a huge buying cycle, right? That we were going to tip the scales into the buying cycle and, start getting huge gains here. That's the gamble, right? It's looking good, right? The problem is, in my opinion, is that it looked good many times before, and we kept getting rejected this entire year. So for the past 3 weeks, it's looked good, and then we got rejected. It looks good, and then we get rejected. So it's kind of a coin flip, to be honest. I think generally it's looking pretty solid right now, rather than the other times where it hasn't been looking so solid. I think there's a lot of good things going on. So it could be a good time to get in the market now, but what that means, it depends on what your strategy is. If you're trying to do what I'm doing here and buy call options on the market, I don't know. If you buy it on a day like this where it's up a massive amount, usually contract pricing isn't great. And that's due to implied volatility. What I mean by that is if you go here, this is where all the contracts lie. And so let's say if you were to do a monthly call, let's say February 22nd, right? Yeah, it's super expensive. These prices are kind of big. So in the money call options are upwards of $10. So you'd need $1,000 just to trade one contract. It's kind of ridiculous. Versus if you did only a week out, right? It's still expensive, actually. That's still really expensive. So if you cut your time by, a fourth, right? The price only halves, which is not good, right? So if you buy on days like this where everything's looking good, it's because everyone is buying on days that is looking good, right? And so pricing is awful because it's basic supply and demand, right? People are buying contracts, so the demand is high, so the supply goes down, so the price goes up, right? Basic supply and demand. That's what happens on these days. You want to buy on days that look bad, technically, right? You want to be a very contrarian kind of view. Days like yesterday would have been a beautiful time to buy. Contracts are probably dirt cheap. And then you could have cashed out today, right? Something like that. That would have been huge. But of course, 2020 hindsight, you can't do that. But that's basic options trading, is that you want to be very contrarian to the market. Is that when things are looking terrible, that's when you're buying cheap contracts and then going up, right? You have to buy the dip. This isn't buying the dip if you get in right now, right? This isn't really a dip. We're already recovering. So just things to think about. I'm not telling you not to do it, but it's just things to think about. Contracts are super expensive right now. You can go a little bit out of the money and go up here and get a 465, 460, something like that. But then you're risking bad Greeks. It goes deep. So that's if you're doing call options, right? If you're just getting into stocks in general, sure. Stocks are dirt cheap right now. Dirt cheap. Matterport's at 12, which is insane. And this thing was at $40 5-6 weeks ago. I mean, that's insanity. What else is really cheap? Roblox in general is super cheap right now as well. I mean, this thing was at 141. It have that. I mean, things are cheap. Yeah, exactly. So William's saying here that all the blue chips are kind of holding up the market. I agree. So if you let's look at Apple. Let's start there. Right, Apple's up. It's only 1.45%, right? But you're talking about a market capitalization of almost $3 trillion. So what 1.46% is a ton of money. You know what I mean? We're talking hundreds of millions, maybe billions of dollars. I don't know the exact math, but I think so. Getting injected, right? That's huge. That's a massive amount of money. Let's go to Microsoft. Massive amount of money, right? 2%, but we're talking a market cap of, again, $2.3 trillion. That's huge. Tesla, let's see what Tesla's up to. Also up to, yeah. So again, all these blue chips are just holding up the market. But not only that, again, what I said before, small caps as well, right? SoFi, Upstart, AMC, you could even include, right? Roku, all of these are holding up the market as well, which is great. So it's nice. All the investors are holding hands, throwing money in the market. It's beautiful. Like, why is some contracts 400% IV versus 40% IV for implied volatility in contracts? Again, it's basic supply and demand. That's it. It's that people are buying that, and so the implied volatility is higher, right? So again, like if the market's going wild, right, that inherently the implied volatility is higher. If the market just did nothing, like just for the vacuum of the example, literally did nothing, the price did not change, the implied volatility is zero. You know what I'm saying? Like just by definition, right? If the stock did nothing, like again, vacuum of an example, if it just flatlined the entire day, no one bought or sold, there's no volatility. There's none, right? So the more price action changes, the more implied volatility there is. And so what happens on that is people buy contracts or sell contracts a lot more. And so you can see here, the implied volatility is calculated and updated every 2 hours. You can see that. And you can see that exact thing. Implied volatility, right? 64%. That's high. That is super high. Okay. Right. Compared to like when we bought the contracts last time, I think we bought it at like what, 16%? Like the implied volatility was so low. I think it was 16% if I'm not mistaken. William, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we bought at like 16, 17%, something very low. This is insane. 68% is wild, right? So contracts are super expensive. That's it. That's all that's happening here. Oh, this is Tesla. Sorry. This is Tesla. I just realized. Still though, implied volatility, yeah, you can see here in the money, 25%. Again, we bought at 16, right? We bought at 16. And you can see here, the cool thing is the more days you go down, so the longer expiration, the more the implied volatility gets more subdued, you know what I'm saying? So like, even like a year from now, you can see implied volatility still up actually, still up quite a bit. But again, yeah, you can see the implied volatility being a lot higher than when we bought it. So our contracts are a lot cheaper because the implied volatility is lower. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. As you can see here, we're getting rejected over and over and over again. Which date is best? There's no like best date, but like, again, it really just depends. Again, I don't think contracts are great pricing right now, but if you're trying to get in today, what that would look like, I mean, I would go at the very least 2 weeks out today, because again, the market's been doing wild stuff this entire year. So like, just make sure you keep it somewhat safe. But if you're looking at that, like maybe February 22nd, or sorry, not February 22nd, February 11th, February 18th, maybe. I can't get over the pricing. The pricing is just so bad. Like I wouldn't deal with that. Like again, you wanted to buy yesterday. Like the pricing was probably half this. You know what I mean? Like this just looks bad. Do you think SPY will run during earnings next week? I'm betting on it. I mean, some of us have gambled on that already. That's what I'm rooting for. So I bought call options on the 31st expiring. And I'm thinking because earnings yet next week, which I'll go over all the companies that have earnings next week, it's wild that a ton of money is going to get injected into the market. So I'm hoping for that. That's the bet. That's the bet we're making. And why we bet on yesterday or 2 days ago and not like today or tomorrow, because, if you're banking on next week, why would you buy? Why not buy the day before, right? Well, it's because everyone's going to buy the day before. That's why. It's because the implied volatility is going to be wild. So I wanted the cheapest pricing, and which we got. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how you have to think about contracts. Like it's not just like a stock price. It's not just like, okay, I'll get in now and get out later. Like, and that's that, and blah blah blah. It's not like that. Like you have to worry about all of these different like factors going into it of implied volatility. Is the market going well? I'm probably not going to buy then. Right? Is the market going terribly? Okay, I'll look into it. You know what I mean? Like you have to go through all of these different options. And then, yeah, of course, market makers, as William is saying, same thing. You got to think about all the earnings next week. You have to worry about the news. Like you have to keep checking it. Like it's a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot going into it. All debit spreads. Okay. I wish you luck. Wish you luck. But yeah, Jamie, I would say go at least 2 weeks out because you want to capture the earnings next week. So at least February 11th, February 14th, something like that. A nice little Valentine's Day call option. That'd be nice. Something like that. Why I think it's going to go well, let me look at earnings, right? So, also today after market close, we have Netflix earnings. That'll be really cool. But look at next week. So Monday next week, we got IBM, Logitech, Philips. Anything else? Steel Dynamics is a huge company. Inkwai is actually a huge company as well. Specific question, with Microsoft having just bought Activision, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, why did they do that, right? I mean, I think anyone very easily can understand the reasoning. Why would Microsoft, a massive, tech company, buy a gaming company? Why would they do that? I think very obviously they want to get into metaverse stuff, right? And maybe not metaverse specifically, but something like it. They want to get into Web 3.0 stuff, and Activision Blizzard, I think, is a great way to get there. I think that's very clear. They're hedging a bet for the future for the next 20 years. And they only bought them for $68 billion, which is a massive amount of money, but it's nothing compared to the money that you can make in this new age of kind of Web 3.0 stuff. Very easily. Like, I think that's a drop in the bucket for them. First of all, it's a drop in the bucket for them. But second of all, it's a drop in the bucket when you compare it to the ratio they're going to make with Activision Blizzard with that acquisition, right? Like, I think that's just so clear. Like, it's a pretty blatant kind of buy. Like, I don't think they're trying to hide it from anyone. Like, they clearly wanted to get into more gaming space. They want to get into more new age metaverse type stuff. I'm not saying they're going to get into metaverse. I think they will, but just to be a safe bet, maybe it's not metaverse specifically, but something Web 3.0-esque, right? And how best to do that with one of the best gaming companies out there being Activision Blizzard. Not management-wise, but gaming-wise. Activision Blizzard is massive, right? And then you have Microsoft backing everything, and so now all this stuff that Activision Blizzard has been working on can get absolutely accelerated using Microsoft kind of resources, right? People, software, hardware, all that. And so, like, again, I think it's kind of a blatant buy. I don't think they're trying to trick anyone here. They're getting into the gaming space more, right? And then they have all the income, obviously, from Activision Blizzard, which brings in a ton of money, like an absolute ton of money. So it's like, again, I think this is actually, they bought it for like somewhat cheap, I would say. $68 billion isn't that much when you're talking about Activision Blizzard and Microsoft being the purchaser of Activision Blizzard. But yeah, I think it was a beautiful buy. I think it's going to go really well. And I think they're hedging a bet for the future. And I think that is one of the best companies they could have done it for, right? You have Meta Platforms, partnering with things like Roblox, right? Matterport, right? Stuff like that. Like, those are massive hedgings for the future, right? You're like, okay, I'm going to use Matterport for the 3D imaging of metaverse. I'm going to use Roblox for the gaming aspect. Like, they're hedging all these bets very clearly for metaverse stuff. And that's exactly what Microsoft's doing. I think it's great. I think it's going to be really good. Anyway, okay, sorry. I know a lot of you are talking. SPY earnings? SPY doesn't have earnings. SPY does not. SPY is simply an S&P 500 ETF. No earnings. Next 2 weeks are big. Yeah, I'm going to go over that in just a second on what these huge companies were. World of Warcraft, exactly. So World of Warcraft is a huge indicator, right? So obviously the fact that they can make, I mean, it's really not that much of a jump, right? World of Warcraft, and then just make that into more of a metaverse, or I keep saying metaverse because that's what it's called, but there's going to be different metaverses, right? Of different stuff. I don't think there's a name for it though, but that, you know what I mean? It's going to be a bunch of different worlds, a bunch of different, I don't know, gaming spheres of whatever, right? It's going to be that. Blizzard 2 with being able to reimage. Yeah, a lot of scandals broke out, and it's not good. I mean, it's not good. I'll be the first to say they're not a good managed company, but they're huge when it comes to obviously gaming, right? Everyone knows their games. Everyone. Good morning. You think Netflix will beat earnings? Dude, I don't know. Netflix has been killing it. The problem is I think they're slowing subscriptions down because people are moving to, weirdly, I think HBO Max and Disney Plus. So I'm not sure. I don't know if they're getting new subscriptions, but they're killing it with the content. Let me tell you, killing it with the content. And then Jamie, you want me to look at BBIG? I'll do that as well. Let me go through the stocks as well, though. Yeah, tell me your guys' thoughts on the Activision Blizzard stuff. I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic buy. I think Microsoft can come in there, fix the management, and then what problems does Activision Blizzard have? None, right? Because they were doing fantastic before the scandals broke out. In fact, let me show you. Let me show you. So forget that. That's obviously after the acquisition. Just forget about that for now. Okay. What am I doing? Let's go to the day chart. Look at this. So obviously this is like 2020, pandemic rise. All gaming companies just shot up, just an insane amount. Forget about that. Let's just say that didn't even happen. Okay. This is coming back to normalcy. Actually, this is actually like 2021. I'd consider like back to normalcy-ish when it comes to gaming companies. So this happened, right? Topped out. This is an insane price. I mean, that's just like we couldn't beat that. Like that's insane levels of people going back to gaming, right? In their houses, whatever. Like that, this is crazy prices, but forget about that. Okay, we come down here. This whole thing happens. Earnings came out. It was compared to last year's or last quarter's, which was pandemic level gaming. So obviously it went terribly, right? So it got shot down, but then it started like going down a little bit more, and then these scandals broke out, and then it just got absolutely shut down, like just completely shut down. It went from like 85 to 56. Like it just went terribly. No one believed in them, all because of management, not because of their numbers, specifically because of management, which is sad, but that's what happened. Now look at all of a sudden Microsoft acquired, and they're like, okay, maybe management's not so bad. Maybe it's not so bad. Look at this gap, by the way. Look at that gap. Just because you can't see extended hours, look at that. I mean, that's crazy. It literally went from the 50 to the 200 like a ghost. Wild stuff. But what I'm saying is basically is that Activision does well. It does super well as a company. It brings in a ton of numbers, like unreal amount of numbers when it comes to gaming companies. The problem is management. That's the entire problem of Activision Blizzard. Maybe a lack of innovation, but whatever. Like they like to take their sweet time on games. That's really it. But other than that, like it brings in a ton of money. Like if we look at the financials for instance here, total revenue for this quarter is $2 billion. Can we go for the year? Is that something I can look over? Yeah, 18% growth year over year, 27%, 21%, right? Insane levels. Like what company does that? Like 27% when we're talking about a market cap of $65 billion. Like insanity. Like crazy numbers. So yeah, I mean, again, all in all, an amazing company, I think, managed terribly, and then they're going to get fixed by Microsoft and everything's going to be fine. That's my take. That's my take. I'm thinking maybe because of Squid Games. Oh yeah, they probably got higher than average numbers. I totally forgot that Squid Games was even like a new thing that happened this quarter. Huh. They put on Activision the day they acquired. Volatility made me grip. Yeesh. Yep. 17% to 35. Oof. World of Warcraft had like 15 million users. Oh my god. When I worked for Blizzard at its height years ago, not to mention Call. Yeah. Fair enough. SPY broke out a trend line. Let's take a look at it real quick. I'm guessing on the downside. Oh, on the upside. Oh, let's go. All right. William, we're that much closer to making money. That much closer. Yeah, anyway. Cool. So this broke out on the top side of the wedge, not the bottom side of the wedge, which is what I want to see. It's doing great. Again, like just a ton of money is getting injected. If we go back to the watch list, you can see here up 12% right now, up 8%. Like these are massive things. Context Logic came out of nowhere, up 8%. Crazy stuff. Pinterest is up. Yeah. It seems like meme stocks are heading the list weirdly. AMC. Corsair. Corsair is another interesting company. Not because of metaverse stuff. I don't think they're even diving into that. They're working on like streaming stuff, right? Microphones, cameras, peripherals, lights, stuff like that. That's kind of their thing. But I love Corsair as a company. They have just been doing terribly though. It's just been getting absolutely crushed. It hit highs after IPO and then just nothing. It's nothing. But I would love to see Corsair buy a company or something like that and like be their saving grace, or someone buys them maybe. I don't think that's going to happen, but it'd be cool. I mean, it's a $2 billion market cap. They could easily get bought, but it'd be nice to see them acquire a company that can help them. I don't know who that would be. Like, I don't know what kind of space they need to get in because they're already in so many. They have like their feet in so many sectors. But I want to see Corsair do well, and I don't know if they can do that on their own because, again, they like IPO'd at a perfect time for the company in pandemic levels gaming, right? So it went wild, but ever since then, like, can't really get out of that. I don't know why I have this. So I want to see them do well, but I don't know what's gonna save them. I think it's an acquisition. Either they acquire someone else or someone acquires them. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I wish it did though, because I'm ready to see this like explode. Also, they're running into chip shortages, like most companies in this space are running into chip shortages. And so they're limiting, they have like a hard limit on their revenue, right? Because they physically can't sell more stuff. That kind of sucks. Yeah, GPU prices, yeah, same problem. Yeah, it's all chip shortage stuff. Like, so that kind of sucks too. Again, though, as soon as chip shortages not become a thing, which I don't know when that's going to happen, maybe like years from now, but I don't know. Whenever that doesn't become an issue anymore, I do think this thing is going to shoot up to like all-time highs again, because that means their revenue has no limit, right? Because right now they're heavily limited. You can see their year-over-year growth. First of all, like, look at this. Like, their year-over-year growth, right, went from 70%, right? This is like post-pandemic, or sorry, post-IPO. And then went from 71%, right? It still looks great. And then 24%, you're like, okay, that's all right, you know, coming down a little bit off crazy euphoria. And now we're negative. Now we're negative because of purely chip shortage. Purely chip shortage. And so they're limiting their everything, right? They're limiting everything. I mean, look at all of this. All of this. Non-operating net income's negative this much. Okay, whatever. But yeah. Like, everything is negative because of pure chip shortages. Sucks. Sucks. You know what's kind of funny is you can see here their marketing expenses. That rose because it's the only thing they can do is market themselves better and research. The only things that doesn't cost, you know, like that doesn't cost chip money, you know what I mean? Is the only things. That's so funny. Okay. Anyway. Let's go back. Okay, we're here. What's up, Obs? Haven't seen you in forever, man. Nice to see your face, or your name, rather. I did something with interest rates or something today too, so all the Chinese stocks should be up. Is that right? I just go to Alibaba for Chinese stocks. I feel like that is a good like Chinese ETF. Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah. Oh yeah, massive as of yesterday. Look at that huge jump. 127 to 136. Is that 8%? Oh, 6%. Still. Dang. 6% overnight. It's nice to see. Took a break. Fair enough. Sometimes that's needed. Yeah. Okay. So market's doing good stuff here. Looks like we, you know, came off euphoria just a little bit, touched the 50, and now we're off again. And maybe that's going to happen again. You know, go high, touch the 50, go again. Stuff like that. All very healthy. All very healthy. Okay. 1 second. Let me see if there's any news popping out. World Economic Forum president. I don't know what this is, but the headline got me interested.
The largest economies in the world, the US and China, it's almost 50% of the whole global GDP. And we have seen lately that China and US are challenging each other on trade. They don't look at things the same way when it.
The guy just said China and the US together makes up the world's GDP by 50%. Is that surprising to you or not surprising to you? Is that low or is that high to
you? Big economies, because we're all going to pay a price for that. Because if we then stop trading with each other, we cannot use the comparative advantages, and the global value chains have brought a lot of the wealth that we have seen during the last 2 decades. We doubled the global GDP in 2 decades, and partly because we have also then traded with each other, and we had this win-win approach and not the zero-sum game approach.
I think it's low too.
And just staying on that,
I think it's really low for some reason.
China's President Xi did speak.
Us and China make 50%?
Pledging that China will be carbon
I feel like it should be higher.
2060. Now, how could China in the US work together? Because to me, this seems to be that like there could be some common ground here.
Indeed.
Overwatch
This
is one of the more
a
popular
topic
esports.
where there is
How popular is it, though?
deep common interest.
For
And that's
instance, if we go to
also what we
Twitch,
saw at the end of the COP26 in Glasgow. Secretary Kerry came together with the Chinese envoy, and they found some text that secured outcome, and we're still on
I
the
mean,
track there. 1.5
not great,
degrees Celsius is possible to reach.
right? Compared to
And,
other games,
what we have seen in
chess
the
is popping
past
off.
is, for example, on the JSPOA,
Why?
on the Iran nuclear deal.
Oh, Tata Steel,
China and US
right. Tata
came,
Steel.
together.
Okay.
We also seen it in other incident, other.
Okay. Just chatting doesn't count. League of Legends, obviously. Valorant has been going wild recently. I don't know why. Grand Theft Auto is hilariously high. CSGO. Dota 2 is always up there. Apex Legends is getting a random spurt of popularity. Overwatch it's decently popular, but I would say it's not cracking these, S tier type online competitive games quite yet, but it's up there. Definitely up there. Netflix is raising prices. Excuse me? To how much?
I think we have seen a lot of progress here. At the COP26, we saw the global companies took the lead. They came out and pledged going net zero by 2050. Some even said 2040. Together with President Biden and Secretary Kerry, the World Economic Forum.
Okay. All right. He's an interesting person, but this is more interesting to me. Okay. So the streaming media says Friday that it's raising the monthly price to its standard plan by $1.50. Oh, okay. To $15.49. What was it before? Basic plan is now $9.99. You're telling me this was $14? How much did... Oh, I don't pay for Netflix. Never mind. I don't pay. I don't care. I just realized I'm using someone else's Netflix. All right, fair enough. Still, though. I want to... Okay, the company says why. I kind of want to, tell me why. Is there spending money to make money? Oh, because they want to cover production costs of Netflix originals? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, okay, so here was my same issue that I just said. Netflix continues to bring in so-so subscriber growth. Again, their subscriber growth numbers is compared to HBO Max or Disney Plus or those kind of things. Hulu, same thing. It's the subscriber growth, not great. By numbers, not great. But again, their content is fantastic. And so, let's see. Did they go into that at all? Maybe not. Oh yeah, Peacock is weirdly getting a lot of popularity too. Okay, it doesn't say it, but I'm pretty sure what they're mentioning is that they're raising prices because they would just want to increase production to Netflix originals. It seems like they're going more into producing than they are distributing, if that makes sense, right? Instead of just distributing the best content, they want to, in fact, make the best content because then they have a lot more control into revenue from that. That's my guess. That's my guess. To me, again, $1.50, is that the end of the world? No, right? No. But to them, if they get millions upon millions of people spending another $1.50 per month, I mean, think of how much money they can throw at movies and shows at Netflix originals. Huge. Rather than spending money on contracts only for distribution purely. Does that make sense? You can spend money on the contracts to okay, I want this movie, so I'm going to pay for that contract for that producer. I don't know how it works. I don't know who owns that, but whoever owns the rights to the movie, contract them for a year, right? You have to pay for that, and then boom, you are betting that it brings in people watch it and give you a revenue that way, right? Rather than here, it's okay, we just want to make the stuff. We just want to make it. We don't even want the contract. Let's just make it and keep it on Netflix forever and call it good, right? Because then there's no contracts. It's a Netflix original. It's ours. I think that's what they're trying to go for. It seems like they're trying to get more into production, which honestly isn't a bad thing. Like, I think that's a solid way to go. I think there's only so much you can do when it comes to distribution. I think they already hit the limit on that. And I think just how everything else will, right? HBO Max will, their producer as well, but that's not a good example. Peacock, right? Peacock will also hit that same exact kind of threshold at someday, years from now, where it's like, okay, we have no subscriber growth anymore. We hit the market cap on, everything. Like, what do we do now? It's like, well, you got to start making stuff, right? It's the only next step. But I think that's why they're doing it. Pretty sure. Did I just see McDonald's expands test of McPlant burger? Cool. That's cool. Guy's still talking. Okay. GTA role-playing is super big. I've seen that. It's getting wild. Like, I saw 100K people watching that at some point. Insanity. Can't figure out how AMD can be down with all tech stocks up. Chip shortage, I can imagine. I'm gonna guess chip shortage. PayPal got a great bounce. Did it? Yeah, that's a really good bounce. It needs it. I mean, fintech, as we've said many times before on the stream, fintech is just awful, awful. But I'm ready for it to bounce. I like fintech companies. Most of them. Some of them are bad. PayPal's a great company though. PayPal's a wonderful company. I don't know why it's getting rejected so much, but that's what's happening. We just hit a new high of the day. That's nice. Remember Netflix used to send me DVDs, and that was $7 a month. Nothing physical here, and now it's $16. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Also, if you're new in the chat or if you're not new in the chat and you just forgot to do it, maybe you consider hitting the like button. You know that button at the bottom right where it has like this kind of thing going on? Just click that for me. Like, just see what happens. Like, ooh, like I've never clicked that before. Like maybe like I'll get money or something. You never know. Like, just click it. Like, if it's something you've never done, maybe try it out. Give it a shot. Click the button, maybe something great will happen. Anyway, we're at 458, which is wonderful. I mean, that's great stuff right there. Let me see how everything's going. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, so 458, high of the day, looking good. Let's look at the other stuff. SoFi's up 15% now. Upstart, everything is like only going up, which is nice. If you look at the red, Garmin is weirdly down there now. I don't remember seeing that, but okay. Moderna, AMD. Let's talk about AMD. Exactly. Do you want to see the S&P 500 go up? That's something you want to see? Well, if you hit the like button, it actually goes up. Every time you hit the like button, it goes up a cent. Little hidden hack for you. Yeah, AMD honestly is just getting rejected over and over. I mean, it just doesn't look good. I think it's like chip shortage stuff. I think it's a lot. Lack of excitement. I don't know. It just doesn't look great, right? I mean, this doesn't look good. Clearly descending, clearly getting rejected. Not great. Yeah. I wouldn't get into AMD right now. I mean, you got to wait for chip shortage, honestly. Like, I don't know when realistically we're getting out of this chip shortage stuff, but it might be a while. I'm just going to Google chip shortages and then look up articles. I just want to see if anyone is reporting anything new on that. Like, just give me, I'm just looking for a prediction. Like, someone just give me a prediction. Chip shortage prediction. I'm not seeing anything. No one wants to make a prediction. Intel CEO predicts it will go until 2023. Okay, that's probably the most qualified person we have to make a prediction. Yeah, okay, 2023 is what I see. Not this year. Fair enough. I don't think so either, which is sad. Oh, interesting. Procter & Gamble CEO is on right now.
Standpoint in your business.
Increase prices.
There are some commodities that are starting to modestly roll over, which is encouraging. There is capacity being added to some of the input supply chains, which is encouraging. On the other hand, in markets like labor and transportation, I don't expect any near-term decreases.
And Julie, P&G shares finished yesterday up close to 5%.
I knew it.
That is a strong move for consumer
That's
staple stocks.
that's such a
We've seen the
Mr.
stock up
Chubby
another
Butt thing to say.
1% Here.
I knew
I would
it.
argue in large part because they have not really seen any resistance to these price increases. So you take those price increases, you bolt it onto the fact that perhaps inflation is starting to cool a little bit in some categories for P&G. And over the next 12 months, this company could show some pretty solid.
Here's what's wrong. Let me just say this. Have you guys been to the grocery store recently? You guys seeing shrinkflation happening? You guys know what that is? There's inflation, obviously, where prices rise, but there's a thing called shrinkflation where the prices stay constant, but you just get less stuff. Let me show you. It looks like this. This is called shrinkflation. 19.3 ounces. It doesn't have the price, let's just say $5. Okay, $5 here. But this is also $5 when shrinkflation happens. It's 18.1 ounces. It's just less. I'm seeing it so blatantly right now, especially when it comes to cereal. If you go down the cereal aisle, you're like, I thought the boxes were bigger. They were. Like, you're not hallucinating. They were bigger. Like, shrinkflation's happening everywhere. It's so annoying. I mean, I guess it's fine because, like, I don't want to pay more either, but it doesn't matter because, like, you're still getting paid, like, the same amount per ounce. You know what I mean? More per ounce. So it doesn't really matter. It's like shrinkflation. Yeah, it's like it's happening everywhere. That's not shrinkflation. That's just inflation. It is shrinkflation. Sorry, I didn't see that. Kind of funny. But yeah, like, it's happening all the time. It's super annoying. Oh, that's a sneaky one. No way that's real, right? That's so sneaky. That's a good one. That's hilarious. Good job, Cadbury. Well done. Toblerone? Oh, less peaks. That's a funny one. I don't know if these are real. These might be like doctored images, but still, it's kind of funny. Anyway, yeah, so you're seeing shrinkflation happen everywhere. I went to this supermarket yesterday, and I was like, this is weird. Like, everything looks smaller. And it's because it's true. Oh, someone talked about China stocks yesterday, today.
On the screen. Alibaba,
as
by
you can
the
see
way,
here.
also happens to be the top trending ticker on
Starbucks, China?
yahoofinance.com. And for good reason,
Excuse
you see
me?
this rebound after what has been pretty dismal performance, of course, going back to
Wait, why is Starbucks there?
in the NASDAQ 100 and the NASDAQ Composite, of which many of these companies are members.
Is Starbucks a China stock? Is that a thing?
Since then, I only see one green on my screen, and that's Baidu. Everything else is in the red. And so we're seeing this little bit of a rebound here today. We were just talking to Candace Say a while ago from Goldman Sachs Asset Management, and she said China is really one of the themes that the firm recommends playing
200?
in 2022.
My
And it
lord.
looks like people are starting to nibble more at some of these Chinese stocks. But really, what we're seeing is a rebound overall in technology. This is today's NASDAQ 100. All of the largest stocks in particular are seeing a boost. Tesla in particular up by 4.5% today. And like many of these other stocks, it has been sort of more struggling in recent days.
What?
And so that's something to keep in mind an eye on here. Also, as we watch some of the movers in today's session,
did anyone know this?
Flagging for us that solar stocks are on the move.
Is this news to anyone?
So
it's news to me.
Continue to watch those.
Yeah, just going
6
back to
times?
those Chinese stocks, Julia, I think they're probably getting a boost from the China rate cut. That's
6
one
times
thing.
in the
But
US,
you have to
that's
wonder
fair, but market
how
share
sustainable
is
this move
much
higher in those
higher?
stocks are. P&G noting on their call yesterday that they saw a
That's wild.
slowdown in
I didn't
demand
know
in
that.
China, which is very interesting. I'm just going to file that away and to be on the.
Okay. That's crazy. I had no idea. I didn't even know they were in China, to be completely honest. I'm ignorant. I'm a dumb American. I'll say it. Okay, so we keep topping out, which is nice. We're at 458.37 is the top, which is super nice. China likely lacks the diversity in terms of coffee shops. Yeah, that's probably super true. That's a good point. Yeah, I guess I didn't think about that. That kind of, I don't know. Do you think it has to be much harder to like own a business in China, right? I can imagine. I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm pretty ignorant on everything over there, but I can imagine in general it's a little bit more difficult because here it's somewhat dirt cheap, depending what you're getting into. Like it's pretty cheap to own a business here. You can do it. Like most people can just do it, right? Like obviously you need to have some expertise and know what you're doing, but like most people can own a business. That's a thing we can do. In fact, like depending what it is, it could be absolutely free to do. All you need to do is like buy like the LLC, I guess, of it, which in some states are like less than $100. So it's like, that's where we're cutting it. But like to own a coffee shop specifically, I can imagine to own a coffee shop here versus own a coffee shop in China. I can imagine it's easier here, but maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea. I don't know. Bitcoin's coming up. I keep forgetting to check crypto throughout the day. Oh, Bitcoin 43. It broke. Look at that. It broke. That's nice. Anyone in Bitcoin or Ethereum or any, sketchy altcoins? ADA. Oh, ADA exploded for a second. I didn't even see that. Mana. This is the crypto when it comes to Decentraland, which is like a metaverse project, which is cool. Nice to see it. Doge. Okay. Sure. Doge is doing stuff. Draw some lines here. Like that. Maybe we're going to channel trade forever. Cool. Oh, sorry. I totally forgot about the earnings thing. Yeah, okay, guys. So if you don't know, check out the earnings. So that was Monday, right? IBM, Logitech, Steel Dynamics, blah, 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 blah. Then Tuesday, Microsoft, GE, Johnson & Johnson, Verizon, 3M, Lockheed Martin, American Express, Texas Instruments. I mean, look at this. Raytheon. I mean, these are massive companies, huge billion-dollar companies, trillion-dollar companies, some of them. Crazy stuff. Yeah, is there anything more? Kind of it. Okay. Oh, Navient, I just saw. This is a student loan company. More fintech. Tesla on Wednesday. Boeing. AT&T. Hey, Toy Pen, how's Boeing going to do? You think, well, the estimate's bad. The estimate's negative. Okay. Tesla, Boeing, AT&T, Seagate, which makes hard drives, and upon other stuff. General Dynamics, ADP, Lending Club. Again, massive companies. Thursday, Apple, Visa, McDonald's, MasterCard, Comcast, Western Digital, US Steel is a massive company. Blackstone. I mean, crazy stuff, man. Then Friday to top it off, we have Chevron, right? Caterpillar, Colgate, Philips, 66. I think that's all I know. Yeah. Crazy week, though. Wild week. What about next week after that? Do we have anything? Not really. Okay. Google is the Tuesday after that. Starbucks as well. Exxon, PayPal, GM, EA, Sirius, UPS. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, the next 2 weeks. Meta Platforms, the Wednesday after that. Spotify, Qualcomm, Sony. Yeah, these next 2 weeks are wild. Activision, GoPro, Merck. Honeywell. Man, yeah. And then what's top it off? Nothing. Okay, gotcha. So the next 2 weeks are gonna be insanity. Gonna be insanity. And we got another high of the day. Let's go. Semiconductors, that would be really interesting to watch. I agree. Knowing what the semiconductor space is like if it's doing well or not. You guys want a little sneak peek on? I updated my stream overlay for the podcast setup. You guys want a sneak peek? This is for my other channel. Don't tell anyone. Obviously going to be a different camera. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Let me give you guys the real deal. Looks pretty good. A fan of it. Anyway. Dang, cool. That's a little sneak peek of it. It'll be good. I might have my first guest. I might have him. But I'm not going to say anything more. Despite it's 460 today, next week might just see highs 460s. Possible. It's very possible. I think we definitely could hit 460. I mean, on this track, I mean, it's going kind of wild right now. There's a slight resistance here. You can see it like 460. Actually, basically at 460 flat is the next like psychological resistance. Not psychological, sorry. Technical resistance. Yeah, pretty much every dollar is a psychological resistance, right? But the next technical resistance is 469. Sorry, 460. My God, I can't speak. 460 is the next resistance. Let's see if that actually does happen or not. It's a pretty weak one, I'll be honest. Like it could break it pretty easily, especially seeing today's price action. You can see the MACD starting to rise into the green. It's starting a buy cycle, right? As we've talked about. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to make in the middle is going to be the title of the podcast, which I still don't have a title for my podcast, but I need one. It's going to be the title. It's going to be like the logo of the podcast will be there. So yeah, that's kind of that space there, but I don't have a title. I have no idea. I'm really bad with titles. So naming stuff, I'm terrible at it, but yeah, I do need one. If you guys have any ideas, send them my way. I am open to that. But yeah, speaking of which, actually, a little a little clout check here. Hold on, a little clout check. Just want to see how close I am. I'm at 972 subscribers. People, I need 1,000. If I get to 1,000, I get monetized. That means I can get money for this. And I think I've done my dues. I've been at this for like half a year, give or take. I've been at this for like half a year. Throw me some money, you know what I mean? So if you're not subscribed, just hit subscribe. Just hit the button. You don't even have to get notified. You know, keep the bell off if you care that much. Just hit subscribe. I'm providing info, right? That's a fair transaction. I think that's fair. But I'm so close. I'm going to get there by next week, I think. Next week, I'll get there regardless on natural kind of growth. But if you want to help, do it. Whoa, SoFi is up 18%. Oh my God, this thing was at $12 yesterday or 2 days ago. How much growth is that? 35%. Oh, what am I doing with my life? I should have believed in SoFi more. We get a break. Do we get the retest on the daily? I think it's possible. Definitely think it's possible. I'm sticking with it. 460 is the next resistance, technical resistance. But we'll see what happens. Again, this thing could come down. I like wouldn't be surprised if this thing came down, hit the 50 again, and started going back up. Like this thing definitely is getting a little crazy euphoric. So I mean, wouldn't be surprised to see this come back down, correct a little bit, and then go up. We'll see. And you by looking up SPY options. I'm sure it's a lot of people looking to mainly trade SPY. Yeah, I think so too. But I've seen your name here so many beats. You've been here for a second. And you, yeah. That's, you know what's really funny? I've said this on stream before. I think even yesterday I said it, but what's hilarious is when the market is bad, my videos get more views. So it's like, as a YouTuber, I kind of want the market to fail because then because my video gets an insane amount of views when the market's like crashing. But then when the market's doing well, not many views. Not many views come out when the market's doing well. It's kind of funny. And the difference is staggering. I think I've showed it on stream before as well, the analytics, but like if you interpose the graphs of like views towards market conditions, it's pretty staggering. Like I get like, I don't even know how to put it, like triple the amount of views if the market's going bad. And I think that's probably generous, probably even quadruple. 3 to 4 times the amount of views if the market's going bad. It's kind of funny. So it's like, as a YouTuber, I want the market to fail. But obviously I don't, because then I don't make money. Maybe you do daily recaps on SPY plays. Little 5 minutes. Not a bad idea. Yeah, I've been suggested that before, doing like little, not even 5-minute recaps, literally like shorts, like YouTube shorts, that kind of thing, showing what we did during the day, stuff like that. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. The problem is I'm just working on too much stuff. You know what I mean? I really want to get this other channel up and going, so I'm working on that. I'm live streaming here every day if possible, right? So I mean, it's just like a lot. I want to. I think that would help everyone as well, learning these SPY plays, or even just something small like learning like these little fundamentals, like a little short clip on like, okay, here's what happened today. Here's why, you know, I can very much see like that we're in a channel here, like just like displaying the knowledge of just like, here's where we're at. This is what's going on. This is why that happened. I think that'd be super useful. I think it would be. It's just like, you know, look at this perfect parallel channel, by the way. Like perfectly parallel. But yeah, it's something I could do, but it's hard. Were you Y2K or something like that before? I was born in 1996. You can do your own math. Dead cat bounce today? Man, we'll see. Still have headwinds with Fed tapering hikes. Yeah. Agreed. But here's the thing, like we already know so many beats. When I get paid for it, I'll be a lot more, what's the word? Motivated? There we go. When I get paid for it, that stuff, I will be a lot more motivated. I'll give me to 1,000 and then I'll do it. How about that? Fair? That's a fair trade. That's a fair trade. The thing though, Sid, with that is that like we already knew this was happening though. Like yes, there's headwinds on like the Fed and tapering, but like that's not happening until March at the earliest, right? I mean, we have a full month and a half or so until then. Like I think the market can do stuff before, but we'll see. I don't know if it's a dead cat bounce or not. So far it isn't, obviously, because it's a huge bounce and looking really strong still. But anything can happen, right? This thing could get rejected in the second half of the day, and then none of this mattered. That can happen. That can absolutely happen. So I'm not going to hold my breath, but right now it's looking pretty good. Is a YouTube handle? What do you mean by that? Was I Y2K or something like that before as a YouTube handle? I'm not sure what you mean by that, William. Do what David says. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. 1K goal. I need that incentive, man. I need it. You think I work hard for free? Sometimes I do. Most of the time, there's some monetary reward. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, get me to 1,000. I will start posting videos like that way more often. Maybe not every day, but yeah, most days I can definitely do something. If something like crazy happens that I could cover, I can do it in a video, no problem. I could just do that right after stream, to be honest. I could just clip it together, call it good. I could very easily do that. Yeah, that's actually not that bad. Put it into more editable stuff. Yeah, I could do it. I could definitely do it, but I'm not going to do it until I get to 1,000. So get me there, and then I'll post all those videos. There is your incentive as well to get me there. I think that's a fair transaction. That's a fair energy exchange, as we call it. And Fed said if unemployment numbers don't keep going up, if employment numbers don't keep going up, they won't raise the interest rates. You have a trading Discord before? I did not have a trading Discord before. If employment numbers don't keep going up, they won't raise the interest rates. That'd be nice. I think employment is going up though, right? I remember from the article it rose. No way, that was continuing claims for unemployment. I don't know. Unemployment percentage. Okay, so unemployment hold on. Yeah, the unemployment rate is going down over time, right? It was at 4.2%, now it's at 3.9% for December. So it is going down. Interesting. Okay. Weird. All right. Anyway. Well, considering they've called this time the Great Resignation. Yeah. It is happening a lot. People are just quitting their jobs. I think some of it is because, they're sick or whatever, or they're requiring like vaccination, so they quit, so it doesn't work for them, blah, 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 blah. But also, I think people are just like, it's what's it called? An applicant market, an employee market. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in your kind of best interest to find the best job, right? Obviously. But it's in such a way now that employers are just hiring like crazy, and so they're willing to pay an exorbitant amount. So it's like if you have a special skill, or even if you don't, you can just find a better employer. So people are just like quitting their jobs all the time now. I don't think that's a bad thing though. I think that's a very needed thing. Like it's rare that we have this kind of opportunity where the employees have the power. Right? It's usually the employer does, right? Usually a small amount of jobs are available. And so obviously the demand is high, so the supply is short, and so the price goes down. The price goes up, so that in this case, that means that the salary might not be amazing, right? But in this case, now it's like salaries are amazing, they're hiring like crazy, and you can just find the best thing that works for you. You can just pick. Rare that happens, but I'm glad it is. Oh, we need full employment before they raise. Gotcha. Okay, so we might even be waiting a little bit because I don't think that's going to be happening by March. That's coming up. Did with nothing to go to, fed up with being taken advantage for pennies anymore. Yep. Again, like it's just people are quitting their jobs. I mean, there's nothing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Also, I think people are not working for employers anymore either. I think people are actually taking it upon themselves to work for themselves more often now. Because what better time to do it, right? Seems like this is a good time to go for it. So I think we're seeing a lot of people not just like get jobs, but also create jobs, which is so good. Like that's so good. I'm all for that. All for that. But yeah, you're seeing a huge rise in that as well. I don't know what that's called, just entrepreneurship, but I don't know what the number would be because I'm sure they have that statistic somewhere, but I don't know what to search. That people working for themselves. Also, I know we're not talking about charts too much, but it looks like we're testing here at the 50, just as we did before here. And so let's see if we can do another bounce like we did and continue the history, or we break down. Let's see. Wife and I were ready to build something that was our own. Yeah. It just seems like that's the way to go. I mean, again, like big picture, like that's a good hedge against the future, right? Like, do you really want your employer being in charge of everything when it comes to your salary? Everything? Like, no, obviously not, right? If someone else going to be the voice on how much you're getting paid, you know, how much work you're going to do, what you're going to do, right? Like, just in by concept, that doesn't sound that great. But if you start working for yourself and make it lucrative enough to live off of, you control everything, right? You control everything. You may not control like the amount of clients you can bring in or that kind of thing, but you do have a lot of say at the very least, right? And you control your own prices, you know, you control your own marketing, like everything. You have everything's under your control. It's a lot more work, 100%. And you don't like go home and the workday's over. Like that doesn't really exist. Like you still have to like always work, but you're doing something that hopefully you love, right? And then you're getting money for it, which is great. And then you're getting a lot more money for it rather than working a 9-to-5 job, hopefully, right? And even if it was the same amount, again, it's really about the freedom. That's the good thing. All about the freedom. That's why I started this YouTube channel. That's why I'm starting the other YouTube channel. I don't want to work for anyone else. I don't want to do it. I just don't want to. I got something to say that I think holds value, and I'm going to say it. And if people agree with me, great. I'll make a living off of it eventually. And I'm okay with that. That's all. That's what it comes down to. That's the passion economy in a nutshell. That's just it. But what I'm saying here more plainly is that we've never had a perfect time to do it than right now. Like this is the perfect time to start something on your own. There really has not been a better time. This is it. This is it. Whatever business you're trying to start, whatever idea you have, like put it together, like make it happen. Again, the fail-safe is you get a job that's widely available, right? That's the fail-safe. So it's like, why not? Like what's stopping you at this point, right? Like literally nothing, like actually nothing. Time, I guess time, that's something that you have to consider. But if you have whatever, 2 hours a day that you're doing nothing, like if you're just literally on your phone for 2 hours a day and you can put those 2 hours a day into something that could be lucrative in the future, why not put your time in that? Like why wouldn't you, right? That's it. It's a simple message, but I think it's a strong one. Anyway, okay, it is 9:18 though. I do have to try to get off here at some point because I am well past my time and my dog would love to go to the park. Wouldn't you? So I think I'm gonna head off here. We're looking great for the market. Let me tell you, look at this like bounce that we're doing as well. Literally a perfect example of the last 2 times that we hit the 50, we bounce, hit the 50, we bounce, we're gonna hit the 50, we're bouncing. Beautiful price action. Like this is such a textbook day. I love it. I can't wait to see how far we go. Maybe we get to 460. Maybe we even go above it. Maybe. And then I'm still holding it. Even if we do get to 460, I'm waiting until next week. I want to hit all of those market gains. I'm ready for it. It's going to be so juicy, hopefully. Hopefully everyone does well, right? Hopefully like Apple, Tesla, Visa, like all the big blue chips do well because then, we're looking fantastic. Billions of dollars are going to get injected. It's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. Hopefully we can finally get out of this slump of 2022 and then hopefully we start making higher highs. That'd be great. Yeah, I'm gonna head off here, guys. It was wonderful. It was great. Hold on, let me send you off the right way. Give me a second. Hold on. Don't leave just yet. Came out with a video yesterday. If you have not seen it, go watch it. Go watch the video. Nice and inspiring. A good message. Go see it. Anyway. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow morning. Bye.